What memorable stories have veterans in your family shared about their military service? My great-grandfather never talked about World War II until I turned 16 and asked him directly. There's one story I've never told anyone, he said, settling into his wheelchair on the porch. Not your grandmother, not your father, but you're old enough now. He paused, staring at his hands. Normandy, 1944. 3 days after D-Day, we were pushing inland when we found this bombed-out farmhouse. The squad was exhausted, looking for somewhere to rest, when they heard crying coming from the rubble. We thought it might be a trap, Grandpa said, but the crying sounded like a child. They found a little French girl, maybe 6 years old, hiding in the basement. Her family was gone, the house destroyed, and she was clutching a dirty stuffed rabbit. She was terrified of us, Grandpa continued. Kept backing away every time we got close. The squad didn't speak French, and the girl didn't understand English. They were supposed to keep moving, but nobody wanted to leave her alone. That's when Private Murphy did something I'll never forget, Grandpa said, his voice getting soft. Murphy sat down on the floor and started making funny faces at the girl. When she didn't respond, he pulled out a piece of chocolate from his rations and placed it halfway between them. Then Murphy started singing, Grandpa said. This old Irish lullaby his mother used to sing to him. Slowly, the little girl crept forward and took the chocolate. Murphy kept singing, and eventually she sat down next to him. The rest of us joined in, Grandpa added. Even though we didn't know the words, we hummed along. Pretty soon, we had this little concert going in a bombed-out basement. The girl started giggling when Sergeant Thompson tried to sing in his deep bass voice. She clapped her hands when Wilson whistled the melody. For 2 hours, Murphy held that little girl while she cried, Grandpa said. We all took turns sharing our food with her, making her laugh, trying to keep her spirits up. When a Red Cross truck finally arrived to evacuate civilians, Murphy had to pry the girl's arms from around his neck. She was crying and reaching for him as they drove away. Murphy never spoke about it afterward, Grandpa said, but he carried her stuffed rabbit in his pack for the rest of the war. I asked what happened to Murphy. He didn't make it home, Grandpa said quietly. But that little girl did. Her name was Marie. Grandpa reached into his pocket and pulled out an old envelope. She's been writing to me for 70 years. Married, had kids, grandkids. She named her first son Patrick, after Murphy. He handed me the letter. Sometimes the most important battles aren't against the enemy. They're for the people caught in between.